Hey, good morning. It's Dr. James. I do hope and pray this message finds you and your loved ones peaceful, thriving, and well. And yes, if someone's just kind of scrolling by Facebook this morning, they're going, in the first 2 seconds, what's that guy so happy about? Yeah, that's exactly right. And they'd be going, gosh, he must not know what's going on. He probably lives in a treehouse and has no idea what's going on in the world. Well, you know what? I know exactly what's going on in the world right now. This is a time that we are all being asked to look within. We're being asked to decide how it is that we're going to proceed. And what a beautiful time this morning when I ran up here to the treehouse, because I was so excited, because I was reminded when I was meditating this morning. Sometimes I pray, sometimes I meditate. When I pray, I'm usually talking to God. And when I'm meditating, I'm listening to God. You know what? These last couple of weeks, I have been meditating. I have been listening to God. And this morning, God was very, very clear. He reminded me of a time. He said, listen, he goes, you remember when you were a little boy, when you were like 7 years old and you had to be dragged into catechism? And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. I love God. I mean, I was all about the universe. I was all about the great big light that God is. But I didn't like sitting still in catechism. You can only imagine, I'm 57 now. This is hard for me to sit for 4 or 5 minutes. So back then I was a mess. But anyway, the catechism was typically taught by nuns. But one particular day, we had the honor of having the father of our parish come in. His name's Father Thomas Ball. An amazing singer, an amazing presence, just a truly beautiful human being. And I think he kind of took me under the wing, during that time. We were the first family in our town to be divorced within the Catholic Church. There's a lot of drama around that, a lot of judgment, a lot of finger pointing. My mom, oh my goodness, did she go through hell. And us kids did too. It was hard. It was so hard. But anyway, so I think Father Ball knew that this was a really, really tough time for us. But that day in particular, we were studying the 10 Commandments. And I wasn't a wise kid. I was just kind of a very curious and inquisitive kid. And I remember asking Father Ball, raising my hand and saying, Father, it sounds like all the 10 Commandments are really important. I probably didn't say it just like that. But ultimately, I came to this place. I said, which one's the most important commandment? If you had to kind of choose one to really, really practice, to really get good at, which one would it be? And he got down on his knees and he looked really close into me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he looked me in the eye. Oh my gosh, this makes me... And he said, Jimmy, become really, really good at loving thy neighbor. And I think he was doing that for many reasons. He knew that I was going through a tough time with a lot of kids talking about our family. A lot of families talking about our family, talking about my mom, talking about a lot of stuff. And so I think that was a time for me not only to hear that he was asking all these other kids to maybe be nicer, less judgmental, but he was also asking me to do the exact same thing. No matter what, love thy neighbor. Regardless of what's going on, love thy neighbor. And when you look at the science today, I'm going to go out 50 years now. I was 7 years old then. 50 years later, I'm looking at the science of how in locus of control, where you look at mental health, you look at emotional well-being, you look at longevity, you look at happiness, you look at just people who are successful at life on all levels. They've become really, really good at locus of control practice, meaning that they focus on what's within their circle to really, really optimize, to really, really have an effect on the things that they can actually control in their world. And you know what I'm working on these days more than ever, and I'm just loving it? It's like so freeing. It's so, oh my gosh, I'm taking all this luggage and backpack of stuff off my back and releasing 9 pieces of American Tourister. That's dating me. Luggage. I'm going, so this is what it's like to love thy neighbor. In my circle, with every human being I come in contact with, I am practicing loving thy neighbor. Because every human being I see is a neighbor, whether it's metaphorically or someone next door. Someone in my circle, someone I see at a distance, someone who voted this way and someone who voted that way, someone who voted this way and someone who voted another way. Love thy neighbor. We get an opportunity whether or not we're Christians, whether or not we're spiritual, whether or not we follow a different faith, path, whatever our orientation, our race, all of these things, guess what? Neighbors. Neighbors are consistent. They are common. They are a channel. They are 100% always there, here, everywhere. So let's just take it to a space where we can say the golden rule: do unto others as you would love to have done unto you. Let us be that practice. Let us drop the politics. Let us bring a brand new policy of love. Love thy neighbor. And I think maybe just as a special honorable mention, the ultimate control I have, you have, we have, is beginning right here in this neighborhood. The Jimmy neighborhood, the you neighborhood. Let's just love ourselves deeply, unconditionally, passionately. Have some fun with love. Have some fun with it. Let's make it light. Let's make it energetic. Let's make it contagious. Let's make it beautiful. You are beautiful. And I really appreciate the way that you show up each and every day. You give me hope. You make me happy. Gosh.